Thank you for tuning into The Disclosures with Peter the Insider and Jessica Ariel Morocco. Peter is the director of the 12th Division of the ACIO, Advanced or Alien Contact Intelligence Organization. Jessica is a galactic liaison and the interdimensional seer. Together they will discuss the most current updates from the ACIO, Council of Five, and other extraterrestrial sources regarding many influences on our planet today. Our new format allows you to ask questions and hear the answers from the previous show. Post your question in the comment section below the YouTube video. Disclosures, insider intel that keeps you updated with planetary changes.
Hello, everyone, and thank you for joining us today for Disclosures. And I'm being joined here with Peter the Insider. And, Peter has a surprise for us today, some new information, and we were talking about some very interesting things. And I don't even know what he's going to say yet. So I'm anticipating, let's see what's going on. All right, so hello, Peter. How are you?
Hello. Very good. After very long time, I've got exciting stuff, exciting news for all of our listeners. I wanna talk about extremely specific and touchy topic, energetic fields.
Okay.
I wanna talk what are energetic fields at all. Many people will start maybe to think, energetic things, that will be physics, there will be some sort of geology or whatever. No, I want to talk about energetic fields in the most abstractive and most common ways. That means, what are energetic fields, where they came from, and what's their purpose. And I want to say something very, very, very important. What happened during it was like what, last 3 months, so was like from February, March, April, May, like that many people, of course, and most of people, we know what is energetic field or what are energetic fields, that there are tons of them. I mean, tons of stuff, tons of types of them. That means we can talk about like magnetic, magnetic electrofields, or I don't know, like aura fields. That means like people, they've got some sort of energetic fields, or not only people, like aliens, hybrids, crossbreeds, whoever, whatever. Of course, Gaia, that means Mother Earth, is one huge intelligent, high intelligent being. I don't know, like stones, so technically non-living. Fauna, that means animals. Flora, that means plants, all of those kind of entities, they've got energetic fields. But something extremely important happened since I think that I mentioned that, at least I think. If not, then correct me, that since Sunday, April 26th, 2020, we disconnect from Matrix. I think that I mentioned that now. Am I right?
Oh, yes, you have.
Yeah, but I mean, and it is like, okay, and what the heck is that a big deal with energetic fields? It's very easy. Because once we are talking about energetic fields, you need basic stuff for that. Energy. Of course, we have energy. That means the transformation from the old matrix. That means we cut it modules from matrix out completely with no never ever possibility to get to control over the matrix again. What is perfect? But what is the problem? We've got also called free energy with no control. That means we with freedom it's given to us responsibility also, right?
Right.
And that's a stuff that we were we've been tasked. Okay, what will be the definition of energy, of free energy, in new context of existence? And what is the new context of existence? Hey, insider, just move and say. Very easy. This extremely painful because you know the proverb, no pain, no gain. This transformation is technically this whole COVID-19 madness. Like it or not, it's true. And afterwards, after this madness will stopped, will be stopped. It will be an outcome, and this outcome will technically show us not how it will be, what it be. That means we will start to live in new context of existence. And that technically means that I don't want to say people died, because of course it's very painful, bad or whatever. But this, how can I say it, this catharsia, that means once the relationship between family members, neighbors, or I don't know, in work, at workplace or whatever, do you know what I'm trying to say? It will clear out what was faked, what was only played, and it wasn't true, and what was honest. Do you know what I'm trying to say? For many people, will be like, no, I don't wanna listen to this, and they will stop us right now. But once again, of course, you can do that. You can do that, fine. It's your choice. It's your free will to censor us for yourself. But this is it. Once you pretend, I don't hear, I don't see evil, respectively bad stuff, this evil, respectively these bad things, they will not disappear. Yes? So people try to be smarter than this. Okay, just for official record. And this is it. Like, we are very small, two small nations from my homeland, like just nothing, you know, small pieces of land. Technically 16 millions of people together, 10.5 Czechs and 5.5 millions of Slovaks, you know. And in many other parts of the world, even they don't know, I don't want to say that they don't know that we exist, but they can't see properly show us in the world map. They can't say much about us, but I will say what happened during those 3 months of technically total lockdown. Even in Czech Republic it wasn't that bad as in Slovak Republic, so in my homeland. But they, believe me or not, they were success because especially we in Slovak Republic, we've got new government. They've got the most brilliant experts from all around the world, because previous government, they've got very bad, how can I say that, social climate. People hate them, common people, right? And with this fresh new brand new government, most brilliant scientists and experts from all around the world, they came back to country, and believe me or not, they got these huge underground facilities practically under all around the country. Get to the work, they get it back to the work, and via this, because of those one, I don't want to say most powerful, but one of the most powerful and most well developed systems, they were was able to what? To make new definition of energetic fields, because they got definition of new energy, new energetic system in new context of existence. This is it.
So like the scientists from back.
This is it. Not scientists, respectively, not scientists, because you know that scientists are very rigid. They don't want to talk about, they call it fake science. That means like normal scientists, they are very skeptical. They don't want to talk about, I don't know, like even possibility of having not having existence, sorry, ETs, respectively. Yes, ETs, they can be ETs, tons of them, but no, they are not on Earth or whatever. But they've how can I say it, open-minded, and it was done by purpose to get those open-minded directly back to the country. Because especially I know Prime Minister like personally, our new Prime Minister, and he's got multiple personal encounter, like multiple times with ETs, and of course he can't say it loudly, you know, and he was like, hey, we need to face this. It shouldn't be just overseen just like that. It's nonsense. We need to do something. And of course, from our agents, from ACIO's agents, he got this intel, this info that hey, but COVID madness, it's some sort of transformation process. And he was like, hey, but I know about those facilities. I mean, he wasn't like 100% like what those facilities are for or whatever, but all of our governments or whatever, they know that we've got underground complexes, highly developed, very ancient, and we don't know what they were built for, you know. But then after political regime, and as I like to say, social climate changed, after last parliamentary elections, most of our most brilliant, I mean, many of our most brilliant scientists simply they get back and they get this. I mean, they did that, you know, like somehow they were able to start those systems.
So you're saying
And
that the original scientists that came from Slovakia and that region that were taken by other regimes when they were under control, they came back. Is that what you're saying?
once again, not 100% like that. Many of them immigrated from previous regimes, so I mean like socialistic regime, because you know communistic never ever were communism. But not only them, but I mean their families, respectively their families, their friends, you know. And that was pretty much it, that you know, their families, their children, descendants, whatever. And that was pretty much it. And they how can I say it, there were some time, but it was a long time ago, you know, that it was a certain period of time that fine, it wasn't that big deal, fine, but you know,
Well, I think
at those times it was only, how can I say that, only very small amounts of people, they were, how can I say that, pretty much, they will do pretty much everything for the previous government they want. They were allowed to do their own jobs, whatever. And once you got different opinion, different, I don't know, whatever, your life in country was very, very bad. So technically you got away from the country, from
yes,
Slovakia.
or you have to be conservative in your
Yes,
thinking.
yes. So technically you will be like you will do your stuff, what you want, what you need, but technically you should, as I like to say, shut your mind up. Do you know what I'm trying
Yeah.
to say?
So, but a lot of these nations, like Germany and Russia and even the United States, they're aware of ETs. They just don't want the public to know about them.
Yes, I'm just trying to say that those many countries, they want to have such systems, because those systems, I mean, such a well developed, I mean, such high tech and such power. I don't want to say this computer, but it is some sort of computer. It is never ever all around the world. In certain part of Russia, they've got something like that, but it's older. The tech is equal. I mean, the systems are equal, maybe even higher. Tech is higher, but the systems have less power. That means, if we can call them computers, they are slower, something like that, you know. But it's never ever all around the world. Never ever. No, 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 no. Never.
Well,
And
oh, go ahead.
no. If you want to ask, no. Because this is okay. I want to say something. we didn't set, sorry, the regulations, if we want to say it that way, for today's show. So this people, believe us or not, I mean, our listeners, people, but this was completely surprise. We never ever we discussed few things, but this we didn't discuss it at all. So if you want to ask something, feel free to stop me and to ask.
Okay, so I think that people are saying, would be questioning, and I'm also curious. We're shifting into this other context of existence, which is could be similar to what we call growing pains. Like a lot of disruptions
Yeah.
when you're leaving one system and you go into another. If you have, say,
Yes.
if you have a business or corporation and then there's a takeover of someone who thinks completely different, it becomes very painful for the people that work there, that if they're going to stay, then either they're in agreement with the new system or they leave. And it's kind of, if you have to put it in those kind of terms so people understand that's what I'm getting out of you is how
Yes.
we're going through these growing pains. All right, so
Yes.
but at a big price. I mean, a lot of people are dying, but it's probably similar to right now maybe one of the other flus that we have had in the past, like H1N1, something like
Yes,
that.
you are absolutely right. It's, yes.
But because it got contained right away, people, did pretty much what they were supposed to do or asked to do, and
Mm-hmm.
they did,
Mm-hmm.
before they got a handle on it, they weren't just going out and spreading it everywhere. Um, which is, we'll get into another topic. And so they're saying that this virus has kind of gone to, it kind of plateaus, they call it, right? It's sort of, it's kind of erratic. You don't know where the peak is, and then it kind of drops. I mean, that it kind of has that effect, I guess, if you analyze it
Abso-
through the public and
Absolutely. It is it is completely this is crazy. It is completely unpredictable. That means one and you never ever get actual info, even from previous development, where it will be in a certain specific part of the world, where it will be the peak is in the first place, and in the second place it will be what we know for sure. It will be not second wave, but there will be multiple after, or also called after waves. Yeah.
yeah.
But once again, this process, as you said, painful growing, as you said, it
Yeah.
is.
It's like ripple effects or whatever. And the person that came closest to kind of figuring out when this would plateau was a mathematician. I was reading an article that this man had already talked about this in maybe before March, and he calculated it through some kind of math um, configuration, and he came up with the estimated time when it would kind of go down. And I thought that was interesting, seeing that it could be figured out through math. But we have a lot of math in our
But
context, right?
but once again, math, it can be very math very easy. Math can betray you like just like that, and I will say you why. Very easy, right? Because you can use okay, we are we in my region, right, where I came from officially, is we can call it basic stuff with math. We can call it counts, but not counts like numbers, but very easy, uh, like multiplying. I mean, dividing, multiplying, um,
Yeah, and you were even talking about a new math too.
Yeah. Give me a second. Dividing, multiplying, adding, and how can I say it? Adding and
Subtracting.
what?
Subtracting.
Yeah, adding and subtraction.
Subtracting.
Subtracting.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, I'll write it down.
Then that means basic operations. And you can use this. You can use this. I mean, this what we know. I mean, 99.9% persons, people, we know we can operate with math. You can use it only until certain specific level. Because once you get over this limit, it's like, I don't know, binomial through exponential sentence. It is mathematical operation, right? Very complicated. You can use technically two ways how to calculate it. You can use normal system, also called counts. Yes, as you said, subtraction, edits, multiplying and dividing. On also called zero level. Zero. I will say. I mean, I will explain what we are talking about, and you can calculate it. You can calculate it like for 10, 15, maybe 20 A4 pages. Yeah. And then you just switch from 0 to 1 or first or second level, and you can calculate it, I don't know, like manually, right? And you can calculate it on half A4 page or 1/3 A4 page. So, because we are using for these basic counts zero level, and there are 12 another levels of math. Technically that means how can I say that, like different outcomes of these basic counts, and it can make your complicated math operations extremely easy, extremely effective, extremely fast. But you can't use them, those and other levels, for basic operations. Do you know what I'm trying to? Do you know what I'm trying to say?
I mean, it's different kinds of math that you use to
It is
find
like
different types of information.
It is like, for example, like broken numbers. I mean, like fractions or whatever. You can't. I mean, you simply can't use for fractions this math. For normal fractions, you can't see this. I don't know, like two or second or third level of math. It will be extremely complicated to use fractions. Do you know what I'm trying to say? It's absolutely crazy. And this is pretty much it. Everything will be changed from the element. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
From the elements, because the energy, the life force energy of the plant life and the stones and everything exists. The earth is a living being, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
So as we're changing now, we still have the natural laws?
Sorry, I need to stop you right now. Okay. Not as we are changing, as we changed, because we technically, how can I say it, stopped changing because we changed complete 100% on Sunday, April 26th. It was approximately 4 p.m. Central Eastern, so Europe, so that means 2 p.m. Zulu, respectively, Universal Coordinated Time, approximately something like that.
Okay. All right, so how about the word transition? So we are transitioning.
Yes, that's true. That's
That's
true.
a better word. Okay, so we're transitioning now into this new experience. Do all of the natural laws of science still apply to our existence, or has something else been changed in that?
Definitely, but it will take quite few amount of time uh, for scientists, once again, for regular scientists, to get that something changed. Do you know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah, that's what I mean. And there's not a lot of planes in the air. And so I don't know if there's kind of a purpose for that too. And I know, of
Yes,
course,
of
people are
course.
traveling.
Once again, it was made on purpose that they, how can I say it, that they set this lockdown. What do you think? It was made, it was done by purpose. It's very easy to, I mean, it's not a big deal. I mean, not a big deal. I mean, it is not a big deal to comprehend why this, I don't want to say total lockdown, but this very restricted regimes or practically all around the world, why it was, I mean, why they were set it down. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And everything of this, um, uh, once again, it was for only one purpose, because meditations, and once again meditations, maybe, I don't know, like 10, 20, 30, 50, 100 times meditations, like crazy meditations, I don't know, few tens, few, maybe hundreds of millions of people, they meditated, and that was pretty much it. That was base of success.
The meditation, like also maybe Om or chanting too, like the frequency type
Yes,
of thing.
something like that. Maybe for example, once no, I am not into meditation. Okay, why the heck not? Not a big deal. If you want to pray, fine, pray. But do you know what I'm trying to say? Do your own stuff, like how can I say it?
Yeah.
Spiritual stuff, whatever. For only for one, but because many people start to ask, yeah, but that will be complicated, whatever. No, just do one simple, very simple, like, as I like to say, easy peasy stuff. For good
Yeah.
purpose. For good purpose.
But
Do you know
that
what
gets
I'm
us
trying?
on the frequency with the planet. The planet has a frequency, and we need to
Yeah,
align
exactly.
with the planet and to heal it, to fix it, heal us, and bring
Yes.
us in a better place. And
because
yeah, and
because technically because technically we were detuned. That means not well tuned, but detuned, because frequency, it's like initial frequency was approximately 7.85 hertz. It was made in I'm sorry, it was measured in 50s, mid 50s, by Schumann,
mhm.
sorry, Schumann. And what is the problem, respectively? What was the problem? That after this 60 years, it was like 2012, 2013, whatever, because of electronics and electric smoke. Do you know what I mean? Especially because this is not only, I don't know, like many people, they were like, hey, that's problem, we've got a uh, radio, TV signal, and all kind of those stuff. But that was only one part of problem. But once GSM, now 4G and 5G signal was launched, especially now it will be absolutely crazy because of 5G. But even 4G, that it wasn't measured. It was 4G. It was only before launch of 4G, right? The Gaia, the Mother Earth frequency, raised up from 7.85 to 8.5 hertz. It was absolutely crazy. And of course, we've got tons and tons of electronics, and everything is, do you know what I'm trying to say, even more electrified and all kind of those things. And this is it. Because it is like, how can I say that, like instant hit to the head, to the stomach, to I don't know, whatever, like in MMA, UFC fighters. Because Mother Earth is, she is not angry. She's desperate, and she's trying to, no, she is not trying. She's calling, she's crying for help. No, we overheard it for I don't know how many years, and we were so close to, and I am not kidding, to a huge disaster, but in very last moment, we opened our eyes, and we, as I like to say, we saved the day. That's the stuff. I just want to say
that's everyone collectively that has awakened and is changed the meditated or whatever they needed to do.
Yeah. Because once again, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if you prayed, meditate, or whatever. Just do your own, how can I say that? Your own stuff. What you consider as best to do. It should be spiritual based stuff, and do it for good, for how can I say that, greater good intention. Let's call it that way, right? And this is it. I mean, this is the great news. But once again, nobody never ever even dare to think that such a stuff, all kind of those weird and complicated stuffs start to happen, to occur, and they be like, hey, but we don't have time to define new to find new definition of energy, of energetic fields, and all kind of the stuff. And as I said, this happened. I mean, the scientists, but once again, open-minded scientists, in cooperation with our people, so our scientists, our agents, whoever, whatever, in those underground facilities in Slovakia, we were able to find out this definition. It's absolutely crazy.
Oh, that's wild. It's awesome too, to know that that we're not just spiraling out, like we're not heading towards like this unpredicted nightmare, but that it's starting to get more, that you're getting a handle on it, and it feels more comfortable.
Yes, but I want to warn not only you, but all of our listeners, what is problem. And people will be, nah, this is not a problem. This is very big problem. With freedom comes one thing: responsibility. So you need to, all of us, not only you, but I mean all of us, we need to start to be responsible, because I think, I mean, I don't want to say I think, I am very skeptical about that, to be honest. That people, I mean, yes, we freed from, I don't want to say from, we freed from Matrix, but we freed from Mobius controlled Matrix. But how many people, right? How many people are prepared for this? This that means for be in control, be in charge of their own space,
their
as
own actions.
space, yes, for their own space. It's creating their own small space, their own small place. It is creating, co-creating, and how can I say it, cooperating and maintaining their part of Matrix. And as you said, their actions, in order not to ruin their connection with another people, their how can I say it, their surroundings, their what it is, how we can call it, their local environment, respectively, the contexts of existence they are living in, or whatever.
Yeah.
And this is, I don't want to say I don't believe in people. No, definitely not. But once again, as I said, that there should be some sort of limit. I mean, sorry, amount of people, they get over certain specific limit, and yes, oh, we are fine. We are the champions, I like to say, you know, because as we were able to disconnect from Mobius controlled matrix, fine. But are we ready to take responsibility for our actions? Do you know what I'm trying to say? How many people, this is it? No, they are not like not ready. No, they don't want to get responsibility for their I don't want to say for their actions, but do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, decisions and all that other stuff. So like,
yes.
you know, in the past, we talked about this before, and I've talked about this with other people, is that in the past there was these facades within the Mobius construct. There were these facades where they could hide. You could hide your intention. You could deceive
Yes.
people. You could do all this stuff.
And people were happy about that because they don't want to see
the truth.
think literally. They don't want to think for themselves, and I don't wanna make as an offend to people, right? But people are like, nah. Do you know what I'm trying to say? They've got some stereotypes or whatever. Of course, they were businessmen or whatever. But these businessmen, do you know what I mean? They are like, how can I say it? They knew that there is certain, how can I say that, like system, let's call it that way, system. They are living in, and this they can use, respectively, misuse system. Use, that means, you know, like how to help people, and other people, that means give them a labor, a job, whatever. Do you know what I'm trying to say? But another people, they are doing only things only for good, only for themselves. Do you know what I
Yeah.
like to say? Like, yes, of course, I will let you earn $1, but I will earn on you 8, 10, maybe dozen bucks. Do you know what I'm trying to say? And on one hand, it's good because without this guy or this woman, I will not earn even this $1, but it's extremely unfair. Do you know? On the other hand, do you know what I'm trying to
Yeah.
say? It's like, what the heck?
Mm-hmm.
It's
But that type of activity is not going to they're not going to get away with doing some of the things that they've done in the Mobius construct, like a lot of deception, a lot of cutthroat activity, are you saying, I'm asking you, not suggesting it, but is that what you mean? That there's going to be less, people can't lie about who they are easily. It's going to, that
to be
veil.
honest, definitely not. I don't want to say, how can I say it? Like, I don't want to say it will completely get, sorry, 1, 2, 3. It will be completely wiped out. Wiped out, that means like never ever, that you can't do this, right?
Mm-hmm.
No. But it will be much more complicated to lie to everyone, respectively, to most of the people.
Yeah, to deceive people. And that's where we got into a lot of problems. You had people that were voted into leadership, there were people that became celebrities, there were people that we had a lot of respect for that were doing horrible things.
Yeah.
And nobody, I mean, that this is part of the reason why it was so very hard to convince the average person that these people they've looked up to for, many decades were actually doing all these horrible things, and they still to this day don't want to look at it. They don't want to believe it because it's breaking their belief system down.
Yes.
And that kind of thing. I'd be very happy to see it go. But Mobius did this so they can get away with things.
Yes, because once again, and this is to be perfectly honest, this is one of the most basic thing that, because okay, I am so excited, to be perfectly honest, that maybe we should start from another part.
Okay.
Mobius, what is I mean, what was before this all this happened? Mobius, because respectively via agreement of with MSL, so Monarch Either Solutions, respectively Monarch Security Limited, they made an agreement. Then it is not no more worth. I mean, it isn't okay. It doesn't seems okay to maintain the matrix as we know it, respectively as we knew it, because we were at the time connected within the matrix. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But it isn't that easy, just like, as I like to say, turn respectively turn on off button, like just like that. No, it is not, as I like to say, to hit kill switch. No, to turn off, respectively support, if we want to call it that way, of a matrix, it is extremely complicated, long-term process. I can I can compare very close to once you want to shut down nuclear power plant. You definitely you doesn't need to be any kind of specialist or nuclear physic, to know, nuclear power plants because of Chernobyl, for example, respectively because of Fukushima. The nuclear power plant is not a simple thing. It's very complicated, and definitely it isn't thing you should just mess around and do. You know what I'm trying to say? That just hit random buttons and controls and whatever. And what happened for this is extremely, I mean, this is so good that we succeed to cut the matrix out of Mobius maintenance, or I don't know, like support at this time, that they cannot get never ever back to control. And technically we are, as I like to say, rulers of matrix for our own selves. This is it, in best time, in the best part of the process possible. Yeah, this is what I want to say.
Yeah, this and it's very broad, which means, like, I'm not saying that your description is too vague. It's just that I have a feeling that it goes into many different aspects that we are yet to discover.
To be perfectly honest, I know what you want to say, that it is broad or whatever. I want to say something. I'm very afraid. Many people will be like, hey, this is so good. Why the heck are you afraid? What the heck are you afraid of? I will say you what. Because that technically we are technically in full control. Yeah.
We're not used to being
over the matrix.
Yeah.
So technically we are facing absolutely new situation we never ever faced. It is extremely complicated. It will be, let us say it that way, for many people to handle that situation. It's like, oh, do you know what I'm trying to say? It's like, I don't know if people are, respectively, if they will be ready to, do you know what I'm trying to say? Like to handle this situation.
Yeah. Well, I think, it's going to be like anything, you have to learn how to adapt to it. And I think one thing I'm pretty positive about humans is that we can adapt to whatever circumstance or situation is, and there is a natural, innate way of survival in a process of natural learning. So, you know that the fire can burn your hand because you put your hand in the fire and felt it.
Yes.
Right? So it's probably going to be a learning curve. And I guess we can't worry about it, since anything's better than what we're already in.
To be perfectly honest, you are absolutely right, because we were in such a how can I say it, in a normal way, proper way, in such a crazy ass problem that, yes, no, I mean, for real, you are absolutely
on many levels. Even if we didn't have to deal with the sickening perversions and weird things of Mobius and them messing around the timelines and all that crap.
Help me, Monarch. Yes, you are right.
But it's also then the fact that because of their carelessness, we were heading towards a serious destruction to the planet.
Yes.
So yeah, on many levels we're better off. So now we don't have a clean slate, and we have people that are accustomed to the old behaviors, but they'll learn by touching the fire a few times probably, and then the reaction to that, and whatever that means. I think it's just like I said, it's the learning process now. So
Yes, yes. Try
that
and learn, or whatever. Yes, yes.
yeah. So now regarding what's happening with if they remove the lockdown, I know they removed the lockdown. I'm trying to think of a country that was.
I just wanna say something. It is like not only fire, but for example, once you was raised off grid, respectively in the wilderness, that like in the what it is, like
Living off
it
the
can
land.
be it can be fire, but for example, if you was and especially in the older in previous time, because now it isn't like that, but we have, I mean, in the normal situations, once it is closed, it is not so hot, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the cook range, sorry, respectively, kitchen ranges, in the previous times, it can be opened, they can be opened very easily, right?
Yeah.
And small child, I mean, like, oh, what the heck? How can I learn it that not to open? Very easy. Open it, and as you said, just get the not to burn the skin, but as you said, get close enough to get no, I will not get my hand to even close to kitchen range. Yes. Exactly, yes.
Yeah, so I mean, I think that's how people are going to have to learn. So I think it is that the apprehension that they have of removing the lockdown is
Yeah,
that people are going to get into situations that they've never had to deal with before.
yeah.
But eventually they're going to have to let people do that. And also, are we going to get out of this without being injected by some, when some of the Mobius monarch handlers that were like Gates or whatever that had these vaccines? We don't want to have anything to do with this, and that's why I brought up the topic of natural remedies that like Madagascar just came up with that herb that they claim is going to help. But yeah, I mean, and also like the passports that they want people to have proof that they're not going to be contagious. I mean, all this kind of stuff that they're trying to impose on people, which I mean, I want a remedy. Everybody wants a remedy, but not everyone wants to have AI put into them, or they don't want to die from the remedy. You know what I mean?
No, I completely got you, and to be perfectly honest, you are right. I mean, and to be honest, I am kind of I start to feel kind of positive, because people, you know it will be try and learn process. It will be, I don't want to say weird or whatever.
Experiment. It will be an experience for a lot of people to.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Experience, as you said. Experience.
Yeah, but probably some incidences are going to happen that people are not going to know how to deal with. And are you worried also that some people might kind of go a little wacky, or like
What do you mean by wacky?
like like lose it like emotionally, or kind of do anything extreme?
I don't want to say some. I think that it will be like, I don't want to say many, but it is like, for example, it is all the time. I mean, it happened all the time with big changes, that people will lose it, and they lose it pretty much. You know
Yeah,
that.
I
I
think
mean,
that
many of our listeners will not like this or whatever. No, I mean, it is like this. Respectfully, sorry, it will be like this, as you said, a growing pain, or as I like this proverb: no pain, no gain. It's not a big deal. I mean, it is big deal, but do you know what I mean? Like, you can't avoid this once you want to process. new context of existence, whatever.
Right. Right. But that, well, at some point, that's going to be a reality. I just, as we're manifesting things through meditation, are we changing the way the remedy comes in?
Yep.
Okay, that's because, like I said, like I was talking to you earlier, that Madagascar said that Artemisia, which was an herb grown in China, and the definition for Artemisia is the type of herb it is.
To be honest, it will be very, it will be kind of interesting story. I mean, this whole thing about the 1, 2, 3, sorry, the story about the whole, how can I say it, this whole cure with this Artemisia and whatever and whoever it will be, whatever it will be, interesting story.
The Artemisia, I guess, is it. Listen to this, Peter. It's a type of wormwood, and that's like a biblical statement of the end times. I thought that was really weird, but you know, we see this type of stuff all the time.
I know.
And
for me, not surprising, not a big deal. I mean, many people like, hey, for insider is not a big deal, but once again, try to think, try to look all over. I mean, sorry, try to think, try to look, try to get this context all together. Technically, all of those things, and don't want to say all of those, but many of those things we are living in the times. It is some sort of biblical whatever, like how we can call them.
They call them
pictures, whatever. Yes, as you said.
The terminology does come up every now and then. And yesterday I was looking at this Greek individual that was over medicine. His name is Asclepius, and his mother's name was Coronis.
Yep.
that was weird too. You know, it's a medical symbol and then Coronis. So right, it's just crazy stuff. So and then the hydrochloroquine is the other one that they want to use, and neither one of them.
To be honest, for me, it's not that big deal, because as I said, everything is complicated. You know that.
Yeah, everything. It does feel like new possibilities, new information is able to come through. People are starting to be a little bit more thinking about alternative ways of you know, everyday life. I mean, because getting back to maybe a little more natural way that's more in agreement with the planet and the free energy that you were talking about. Could that replace the 5G and some of these other harmful frequencies?
It will be. Good. It will be.
Good. So when they provide this type of technology, they're going to abandon the 5G or 6G or whatever else they wanted to bring in?
Give me a second. Which kind of technology? Can you be more precise once again?
5G. Will it replace?
No, I mean, will replace what?
Anything, the 5G, the 5G technology, 5G, 6G, whatever else that they're going to bring in.
I mean, I was kind of, I don't know, like what the heck you are talking about, because I was like, if you want to mention, how can I say that, like, how can I say that? Like, if you want to talk about any specific technology, no, I don't want to talk about any specific technology, because there are multiple technologies.
Yeah.
specific technologies. But yes, 5G will definitely be replaced.
Okay, that's really good news, and that's the kind of thing that we want to hear. And then, so with the advent of the free energy coming in, that means different types of technology that's in agreement with the earth,
Yep.
and also, oh geez, I mean, there's also, well, I don't want to know if I want to go there with. I was thinking about the money system too, which is another very controversial topic.
You mean monetary system?
Yeah.
Yes, it will be replaced by help me barter system. Like good for good trade good for service and service for service system.
And someone's going to come up with the value of some of these things,
Yes, of
so
course.
it's balanced and it's fair.
Yes, of course.
Uh,
But once again, it will not happen just like that.
you're right. It's going to evolve.
Yes, it is.
Oh,
Give me a second. It will happen exactly, I mean, the exact same way as happened this. It was long term and very painful transfer process of transformation. Do you know what I'm trying to say? But in the end, this some sort of almost biblical, how can I say it, disaster. It's COVID, many people died and whatever. But in the end of the day, as I like to say, we saved the day. This is it, and I don't want to say we. I mean both of us, but people they opened their eyes and they get aha, okay. But once we want to live in a normal life, in the future, we need to change our mind, what belief systems, mindsets, and all kind of those things. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Like,
yeah.
so this is it. Respectively, this will be it.
What about
So
disclosure,
if
Peter?
people give me what?
I said, what about disclosure? Go ahead. So go regarding like ETs,
But give me a second.
Okay.
This is it. So once something like this will not start happen, I don't know, within 1 or 2 years or whatever. Don't start to be mad at me. Once again, this will be long-term process. And once again, it will be like we will be pretty much in the edge of the cliff. We will stand pretty much on the edge of the cliff, but we will catch it, and this is it. This process, respectively those processes, they will be all the time very painful, but this is it. No pain, no gain. I will repeat this many times. And I want to say you something. Why the heck we want to disclose something? I want to ask you very easy, very straight. Is this not good disclose enough?
Oh no, this is good disclosure. I mean, like, you said like scientists are not open enough to talk about aliens or
No,
extraterrestrials or.
Give me a second. Rigid scientists, and also called, once again in quotes, also called widely respectable scientists, because open-minded scientists, they were how can I say, they've got education, I don't know how many universities, they were associates, professors, whatever. But since then, then that means since certain encounter or whatever, right? They changed their mind, and they were totally wiped out of the scientific society, right? This is it what I want to say. So it is not like that they are scientists, they will go to scientific societies and they want to talk they start to talk about aliens, or I don't know, like ETs, uh help me, astral, I mean non-physical life or whatever. No, they've got their own, how can I say that, closed, very closed, private, uh, mm, how we can call them, like clubs or whatever, and that will be pretty much it. But this is it. Why the heck we need those info to be public? No. Once certain people know, that will be fine. Do you know what I'm trying to say? It's not that big deal.
So the people kind of already know. It's just that they're waiting for the authorities to admit it.
Yes, but to be honest, they never ever will, and I will say you why. I mean, official, those also called, in the quotes, also called well accepted, I mean well known scientists, they will never ever do it, and I will say why. Because even in the campus, once in campus, in the middle of campus of respectable university, will land UFO, right?
Yeah.
No one from scientists, no one. I mean the doctors, associates, professors. No one will never ever get to look at it as first, and I will say you why. I will say you why. Because they don't want to lose their reputation. That's it, how it is.
Yeah, but they're gonna lose it anyhow when it's a fact and people are gonna feel like they hid the information.
No, I know. I just wanna say that in their mindset, it is
Yeah.
like yes,
I know.
no, fine, yes, I can do that, but no, I will not be first. First, it will be like my colleague, or do you know what I'm trying to say? And that's their mindset. What the heck is that? It is ridiculous.
Yeah. Well, but those things are going to come out more and more, right? It's going to become more normal.
To be perfectly honest, no. Technically, it will become more and more fun. Everything of this will become more fun, because there will be even more and more evidence about everything. Practically, I don't want to say everything, but most of topics we are talking about, respectively you on your channel, respectively I'm making shows with James Ring, Super Soldier Talk. So about most of this, I don't want to say all of this, but about most of this, the facts, the evidences will be so obvious all around the world that they will be, to be perfectly honest, okay, I will say you this as it is, respectively as it will be, they will be stupid once they will still resist to accept it as a fact.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying, is that it's eventually going to be more accepted, and so they won't have to feel intimidated.
Yep.
You know?
Exactly.
You know, it's like people that, you know, these guys that are flying planes or they're like they see things, they see UFOs, they report it, and then they have to go to psychological therapy. you know.
Yes,
And
because once you do something like that, you are a psycho. You are a
mhm.
fool, like nuts, you know.
Yeah,
But for example, uh, not only army, but even civil pilots, those are specific. Can I say that? Like specific files only about UFO only. But no, not for I mean like our files. I mean in ACIO. It's of course because we are dealing with them, but practically, I don't want to say all, but most states all around the world, they've got some sort of, I don't want to say agencies, but do you know what I mean? Like some sort of associations or whatever, they are dealing with these problematics. Somewhere it's extremely hidden, almost prohibited to talk about. But for example, in France, it is official and it is a government, so technically state paid organization.
oh, I
It's
didn't know that.
no, it's true. It's true. It's true. Because, for example, in US, of course, you can do this, you can do that, or whatever, but it's strictly prohibited to talk about it. Once you are, it is not that extremely that big deal once you are a civil pilot, but start to talk about this once you are, I don't know, like especially Air Force pilot,
Yeah,
but practically,
military.
yeah, but practically anything once you are involved in any kind of way, once you are involved in military and start to talk about UFOs, it's, I don't want to say UFOs at all. How can I say it? Like in general, but start to talk about it, about your personal encounter, even it will be not 100 but 1000% true, you get in very big and deep trouble. Yeah, this is like that.
But this is
In
going to
your,
change, isn't it? This is going to change, yeah.
of course, but I'm just trying to say that in France, it is not a big deal. It is not a big deal. It's one of the very few well-developed countries all around the world. It's absolutely free to talk about that. Absolutely. They are even actively searching people. They were eyewitnesses or they, I don't know, experienced, like, how can I say it, respectively meetings, or I don't know, like they were kidnapped or whatever. They want, it's absolutely, and
Abduction.
yeah, abductions, or but even once you encounter like a pilot, no matter if you are civil or army pilot, or I mean being a soldier, right? Not a big deal for them. Everything is transparent. You can, even they've got the websites, whatever, they've got pretty much everything, you know, and it's extremely, as I like to say, transparent. So technically, you know, you can see what they are doing, whatever. Do you know what I'm trying to say? It
Mm-hmm.
is something like that. And for, I mean, many other states, many other republics all around the world, they are making fun from them, to be to be perfectly honest. But
Well,
I don't
France
know
is having a
why.
lot of problems as it is. Though they do have problems, but they're very advanced and ahead in some areas.
Yes, you are right.
But
You are.
Macron doesn't know how to connect to his people at all. I mean, it's a huge disconnect, and that's bad for the people who've been mistreated over there very badly. And they're blocking. The people can't even show any type of video of what's happening in their nation. I guess they remove it immediately if they try to do alternative media on YouTube or somewhere else. So they've gotten very, very rigid.
Yeah, That's true because technically it's some type of uh, civil war. I
Yeah,
don't want to say it is, but it is
it is.
very
Yeah,
on very edge of yes of civil war, something like that. Yep,
yeah.
that's true.
Are they going to get a resolve on this? So these people, I mean, these people are going into civil war. They don't have food. You know, it's very serious.
I know that. They are not doing they are not committing violence for just for no particular reason, of course not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And, is Macron part of that old system, the Mobius monarch system?
To be perfectly honest, I think he's playing both sides because
Uh,
he's not supporting them. Problem is once you want to get rid of someone, you need to play their own they sorry plate. You need to play it to sorry 1 2 3. You need to play their own game and to fight with their own weapons. What is problem? I think that it went out of his control. I think.
yeah, yeah, it definitely looked that way. Yeah. And then it was, he couldn't get it back. The people lost respect for him. Yeah.
Uh, yeah.
Yeah. It's dangerous when you start playing those games with, and oh, well, look at, I mean, Trump has a hard time also. And
To be perfectly honest, from my point of view, it in US it's even worse. Since this economic crisis, it's bad, and I mean really bad. Uh, it's even worse, and it will be very complicated.
yeah, do we, I know that you can't say a whole lot, but do we resolve this? Does, you know, what's happening right now? You said that the United States was going to get hit pretty hard. Is it going to
Yes. It
continue, or is it going to get a little better?
to be perfectly honest, it will be. I don't want to say it will be disaster, but it will be very complicated.
Okay, so maybe meditate and try to
Yep,
help them.
yep.
Yeah,
But to be honest, this is it because many people in US they believe that they two things, two basic things. What is total false flag? In the first place, I've got I. That means I. You got all pronouns are with small, but pronouns like for I, that means myself, is with capital I, right? And that means the English, and no, not don't take it personal. I mean, as Americans, but this is not respective. This shouldn't be dealing with Americans, but with English people in UK, right? Not
mm-hmm.
English, not English because it is not England. It's technically United Kingdom, right?
Mm-hmm.
That they were selfish and not common people, like normal people, but technically like aristocracy, right?
Mm-hmm.
They were extremely selfish, and they were, as I like to say, they've got their eyes only for themselves, right?
Right.
And that means in US people are selfish. That means I can do what I want. That means a lot of violence is happening all around the US, and they were set. That means they they were okay with certain. That means pretty high life standard, and they don't want to, how can I say it, to to realize that something like that will, I mean, it is over and it will be never ever again. Because this crisis, what is happening right now, it is on the edge, but technically it is at all, right? It will be not similar to crisis from 12 or 13 or whatever years ago. No, it is not like that. It will be much worse, right? And that's it. So people need to stay patient and to be, how can I say that, like supportive or whatever. People will be like, hey, insider is telling us bullshits and whatever. No, try to look at post-apocalyptic games as like Metro, or I don't know, like Last of Us or whatever. People, they've got very only small, very tiny piece of stuff, everything, and what happened? They start to share. Yeah, so this is it. Not get to how can I say that, everything only for me, but for people in my surroundings, in my neighborhood or whatever. No, like within few blocks, maybe within district. And once people believe me, that once people start to look, to see, to realize, aha, he or she is sharing. Yes, of course, there will be fools, they will do bad stuff. All the time they are like that. But people like that. But after certain amount of time, people will change their mindsets. Do you know what I'm trying to say? The construct, how they are thinking. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, what's really important instead of this whole thing of loving money and all that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. Because this, especially in US, it is absolutely crazy, like the violence and all kind of those things. It's like, what the heck? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I saw some people were violent because they saw someone driving without a mask on and they hit their car and doing stuff like that. Just it's like their pent up anger is coming out in it will come out in very weird ways. Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. You are right.
Well, the cities in particular, I'm seeing that's, I mean, they can't go out, and the whole thing with California.
But this is, give me a second, but this is it. Like, we are freedom, we've got freedom and all kind of those things. No, you don't have freedom in this specific time. And this is it. People don't want to respect some sort of restrictions, sorry for that. And this is it. Once you don't want to accept restrictions, even for only, how can we say that correctly, even for it is not like long term, respectively, for every time, for eternity, right? But
you mean like for a couple months, maybe?
Yeah, but I mean for how can we call it, like for temporal part of time. It will cause even more and more trouble. Nah, that's it. Nah.
So the locations, the areas that are cooperating or get opening up.
To be honest, people in there, they are living in those parts. I mean, sorry, in the parts of the country, technically in regions, they are cooperative and whatever. uh, everything is going much more smooth, much faster. Everything is fine. I mean, many people are like, "Hey, insider are selling, saying us nonsense." Do you know what I'm trying to say? That hey, we should follow all the orders and all kind of the stuff. But yes, in some very specific circumstances, is better just to follow the, how can we say it, even the temporary rules. It is like that. Like it or not, it is like that.
Now, what about you have a community and there's a handful of people that are like breaking the rules and causing problems, but everyone else is doing what they're supposed to do. So this is affecting people on individual level?
To be honest, many people will like, no, I will never ever do something like that. Once within community is fine, everything fine, and there are certain rebellions within the community. Don't hesitate to do what is necessary. What you will be like, I will never ever do something like that. Don't hesitate to warn authorities. Like it or not, this is needed.
Why is that? Is it because of there's something?
Because once you are, I don't want to say you, but once people, you are not able to deal with this stuff in non-lethal, not non-violent, respectively non-lethal way, of course, then don't hesitate to warn a local authority. Not only local, but technically all the state or maybe the government authorities.
Yeah, you mean like if things are getting out of control, there's a problem.
Of course, or people you simply have some sort of local agreement how things are working, respectively should working, and there, I don't know, like 99, no, not 90, 95, 97, 8% people, okay, this is agreement, it's fine, why the heck not? But those, I don't know, like 2, 3, maybe 5%, no, we will do for our own sake. It's bad, especially once you are isolated of community, or I don't know, like for example, okay, a Latin American, African American, or I don't know, like Slavic people or whatever, I don't know what. Yeah, or Asian people, for example, if from even every single, I don't know, kind of nations, right? This is I'm talking about US, because this is totally out of control, especially about violence, violent criminality, and whatever.
We don't really hear about it. I mean, I'm looking in the news and I'm not seeing a lot of violence. I'm seeing protesting, but that's not violent.
Because it is censored, it is banned to talk about it. It is very specific situation. 1, 2, 3. Sorry, it is the very same way as you said, respectively. Very, how can I say that? Similar, as you said. It is very similar, as you said, with what it is.
Censorship or
censorship happening in France or whatever. Yep. Yep.
So there are, right? So, and the people are not really showing a whole lot. There is the governor of Massachusetts was painting arrows on the sidewalk, telling people which way to walk. Like, you're not allowed to turn to left. It's only the arrows go on the right side. It makes people feel like this whole thing is they're being treated like they're children.
Yeah, that's true.
So there's some humiliation that's going on here too, and they're telling people, yes, you can go to the beach, but you can't sit down. on the beach, you know.
To be honest, you are right.
And that's humiliating, I think.
Of course it is.
It's attacking people's intelligence and insultive or whatever. So that's why people are losing trust and respect for their governors that are making some of these decisions, and it's happening. I mean, each state has their own leadership, and Trump seems to be not really engaged in the what's happening in each state. He seems to be looking at some other things, which I'm not really sure what his priority is. Probably just trying to keep everything together, or there's also he's running for office again.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean it's pretty tricky. I want to be able to help the United States. I want there's a lot of.
I'm just trying to say, especially in US, because of course, in Western countries, that means Western Europe, also called Western countries, because Western Europe, Southern Europe, and what it is, Scandinavia, so technically former, also called classic capitalistic countries in Northern America, that means US, Canada, and I don't know like what it is, like Australia, New Zealand. Even when restrictions, they start to get restrictions very slow, and even once they get restrictions, people don't want to follow them, right? But that's it. Now because the situation, especially in Italy, Spain, it was extremely horrible. We know that what happened and all kind of those things. But the stuff is, what is the main part of the problem? I mean, after rest of the world witnessed what happened in Italy and Spain, they very fast realized, aha, this is bad. But even people in many other parts of the world, they don't know to get that. I mean, sorry, I don't want to say they don't want to follow the restrictions, because they simply don't believe that it is that bad. I mean, that the COVID is that bad as they showed, or whatever. But this is it. I mean, once you don't will not hold together. I mean, I'm talking about not only in US, but people all around the world. And once you will do bad stuff, I don't know, violence or whatever, once you will not follow the rules, the restrictions, the process of transformation will be even more worse and worse. That is it, pretty much.
Yeah, it kind of holds things back.
Yep.
But I'm just hoping that the people that are doing the right thing, that they're not going to suffer because of the others. That's my concern.
Exactly.
Yeah, and you also said that Africa has a much higher rate of deaths than they're showing.
Yes. Technically, they've got millions of people died, and tens of millions of people they are infected, and practically there is no single sign of Africa, not a big deal. Very easy. I mean,
there's no news
the
on
question. The answer to this question, why the heck is like that, is very easy. The answer is very easy, because COVID-19 was originally developed in Africa.
Well, all right, so that's interesting, because that takes away the whole idea that it came from China.
But hey, I want to say you something very similar. I don't want to say the same, but people, they were sick on flu. I mean, because it looks originally, the symptoms are like stronger flu, right?
Mm-hmm.
Some sort of stronger flu symptoms, very similar to COVID-19, they start appear in Europe and practically all over the Europe. Not only, I don't know, like Western, Southern, Northern, or Eastern Europe, practically all around the Europe. Believe it or not, in the end of September, respectively start of October 2019. Believe it or not, that's true.
Wow.
Yep, that's true. That's true. I mean, doctors, they don't realize it because they were overdoing this stuff about helping care, to taking care about people, but afterwards, like back analysis, do you know what I'm trying to say? Like what? Like also called flu season. It started. Sorry for that. Earlier last year, and some people, very few, but some, they've got symptoms very similar to COVID-19, and it happened on let us say first half of October or first week of October 2019.
We were debating over this. Friend of mine, his sister got very sick. She had pneumonia, and then within 3 days she was dead. And we were like, this is before that they were talking about the virus. And we kind of looked at it again and said that's probably what she had, because
Yep.
they didn't even know what was going on. And I'm sure that that's happened already with some of the people. Yeah, that makes sense to me. And I have heard of people getting really sick. And
Yes,
yeah,
and once again, flu. This is the first positive confirmation sign, and another positive confirmation sign that COVID-19 was released much more much more earlier. Then it was announced that hey, in start of December or 2K19 in China and all kind of those things. Another positive confirmation sign that was that 2009 flu season started much earlier, you know. So I think that those stuff, what we discussed, all kind of those things, it's good point. Where should we stop? What do you think for today?
yeah, I think we've pretty much covered it, and there's probably going to be more questions regarding this because this is ever evolving. And like I said, this is the first time in my life I've seen so many different things happening in the world all at once.
Yeah,
So this
you are right.
transition has everyone, up on end, and I'm constantly sending out some kind of prayer, that people have enough food, they have what they need, that the children are protected, that the elderly are protected, and just universally, because it doesn't matter what part of the world you live in, your human life has value, and so that's pretty much how I think we can all agree on that part. And thanks for helping us to kind of get a little bit more perspective of what's going on. But I know that this is good news. This is very good news, because the transition doesn't mean destruction, and it doesn't mean this apocalypse thing that, like you said, we're putting too much pressure on the planet. So this is calming things down. And we learned a lot today, Peter. I appreciate your information.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. So I think that I'm happy and I'm staying tuned till next week's show.
Okay, sounds good. Well, thank you everyone for listening, and I hope you have a good day. Please leave some comments. We didn't get to the comments today because of the news that Peter had, but we'll hold on to those comments for next week. And, you know, if you want to add more to that, and we'll maybe start with comments next week. We'll see. Have a good day, and until next week, goodbye.
You have been listening to Disclosures with Peter the Insider and Jessica Ariel Morocco. Join us on YouTube channel, Jessica Ariel Morocco, and visit www.peter-insider.com and www.readingsbyariel.com. Remember to post your questions in the comments section below the video. We look forward to hearing from you.